Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys. Back with another One Piece anime episode review for you guys as I'm reviewing two episodes, and that's episode 1126 and episode 1127, where most of this episode or most of these episodes basically contain Luffy versus Kizuru. Obviously, now with Luffy with Gear 5, how can he go up against an admiral? And I feel like even though Luffy, did look to give Kizuru some problems, Kizuru still did come out like, okay, yeah, like whatever, he's problematic, but I can somewhat deal with him. But we'll have to see. We will have to see as their fight more than likely is going to continue going into next week's episode. But yeah, so we basically start episode 1126 off with Kuma again. Now, Kuma's obviously has reached Marijois, and he's basically taken out all the guards and everything. Like, he's just creating mass havoc. We still don't know why Kuma's doing what he's doing. He just flew himself halfway across the world to get to the Saboti Archipelago, crashed into the Red Line, climbed to the Red Line to get to Marijois. Don't know why he decided or what his plan is. But then you have it to where Akainu shows up. And basically everywhere Celestial Dragons are like, Akainu, take care of that guy. And basically Akainu's walking up. He's like, I don't know what you're doing, Kuma, but you've been creating a lot of freaking damage and destruction because of your actions. So you need to like you need to stop this, right? So Akainu does some of his attacks, but Kuma kind of just like dodges it and gets out the way. But then Akainu basically uses his Hellhound attack and basically scrapes his eye and everything. And it looks like his eye is badly damaged. And you see Kuma bleeding and everything. Now, we know that Kuma's like an android, so he might be like still some parts of his body is like human, some parts of him is still android. I guess it seems like his eyes must still be android because he was bleeding. And basically, that's what Akainu made him mention. He's like, huh, so even after everything that happened, you still bleed like a human. Now, Kuma just runs away as in retreat, like as if Akainu means nothing to him. Because Akainu's like, Kuma, where are you going? And he's firing like these fire attacks at him, but Kuma's just dodging them and everything. Eventually, he gets to his feet, but Kuma's just like, screw it. He uses his freaking devil fruit power on himself, his paw paw fruit ability, and he sends himself flying away. Where he's flying away to, I don't know. We don't know the whole reasoning behind like who is doing what he's doing. Could he be going to Egghead? I don't know. We'll just have to see where it goes on from there, right? So in the meantime, I kind of was looking at this, and he flashes back to the moment when Bonnie was captured. Because if you remember, Bonnie was captured legitimately before the start of the time skip, I believe. It's been a while since it's been a while, but if you remember, Bonnie was kidnapped at some point by Blackbeard, and you just have it where Akainu basically showed up and is like and basically was like, hey, your father, he voluntarily turned himself into a pacifista on his own volition. And Bonnie doesn't freaking believe that. Now, this is Bonnie at this time. We don't know what Bonnie must have saw in the gigantic paw print room, right? When she looked into Kuma's past. Eventually, I know because I read the manga. Eventually, we're going to get that those episodes adapted into or from those manga chapters about the Kuma backstory. I believe it's going to probably be coming out after this upcoming episode. That's my best case. But like, because it's been a while since I've seen the end of the back half of the Egghead arc. But I think that's when we're gonna get the Kuma backstory right then and there. But yeah. So you get, excuse me, sorry guys, just tired. But anyways, you get that you get that announcement. You get that right, and it flashes back, and kind of just like, What the hell, basically. So this is when we cut back to Egghead, and this is when we cut back to Luffy versus Kizuru. Now, Luffy has gone Gear 4, and he's using Snake Man. Now, if you're wondering, why is he using Snake Man? Probably because he knows that Kizuru is a fast character. We kind of know it's established that Gear 4, when Luffy goes into Bounceman, he's using it for power purposes to expend more power. For Snake Man, we know Snake Man, even though it doesn't have the crazy amount of strength that his base Gear 4 form has, Snake Man, albeit it still is powerful, it has more speed than Boundman, so it makes sense why he decided to go Snake Man here because it's like it's a faster form. And when you're dealing with a character that legitimately can move at the speed of light, I think Luffy's like, no, I gotta go this form because this dude moves too fast for me. Um, and he's basically just he's using the same attacks he was using, where he's like reflecting his arms all over the place like he did in the fight against Katakuri. And you just have to wear either, a key, yeah, Kizuru. He's either just dodging the attacks, with his just light-based Logia attacks, right? Or he's just freaking just blocking the attacks. And altogether, if we're being honest, I'm looking at like this little short little stint. Yeah, like I guess you can say Luffy's making him work to defend himself, but outside of anything, Luffy, Gear 4 is not doing much of anything to Kizuru. Like, to be honest, like Kizuru is kind of just swatting Gear 4 away like a fly, because that's what he eventually does. Like he kicks Luffy fairly easily by tricking him, and he gets him into getting attacked by the barrier, right? Which it's just like, oh, so albeit Luffy's much stronger after fighting against Kaido, Gear 4 still doesn't amount to making the admirals actually just be like, okay, you're stronger. We'll admit that, but if this is the best you got, well then clearly, sorry, but it's not going to be much of anything. Look, right now, honestly, Gear 4 is like in that phase where it's like Luffy can use it if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. It's kind of like we know with Gear's second or second gear or whatever. I don't really care about third gear because he's basically adopted third gear into like basically major attacks, right? But it's really like second gear is kind of like, I guess he getting himself warmed up and stuff like that. And then Gear 4, it's kind of, and we're being honest, they're kind of doing away with Gear 4. Our Gear second, Gear second starting to be like, now Luffy's starting to be like Goku in his Super Saiyan forms, where Gear second is like legitimately Super Saiyan. Gear 4, whether it's Bounceman or Snakeman, Gear 4 is legitimately like Super Saiyan God, right? It's legitimately that, and then freaking Gear 5 is like your Ultra Instinct, right? And like we barely see, yeah, we still see Luffy do Gear second sometimes, but he doesn't really do it because we know he's still fast even in his base state, regardless, right? So he just basically doesn't even mind. To me, it feels like he doesn't need to use Gear second. He just goes up to Gear 4. And this is the second time we've seen it in this arc. He just goes straight to Gear 4 before he goes Gear 5. Outside of the first Lucci fight, right, in the second arc, or in this arc, where he just goes straight to Gear 5, right? And he's just like, all right, I'll show you what I got now. So because we saw him in the Pacifista fight, he just went Gear 4. So you have to wonder if like eventually they're gonna stop relying on like the first two like gears, which is Gear second and Gear third. But again, like I said, Gear third, Luffy just uses all the damn time when he's using like Elephant Gun or something like that, right? So there's that, right? But it is interesting to see. But anyways, he kicks Luffy away like it's nothing, right? And basically shows up in basically the headquarters where Vegapunks are trying to figure out the password to break the Frontier Dome. and they're just like, oh shit, Kizaru's here, right? Oh, I also forgot to mention when he kicks Luffy away, he also just kicks him to the way of the Vega Force One, which breaks that shit in half. Eventually, in the next episode, we have it where Frankie, excuse me, Frankie ends up pulling up the General Frankie to do the job. Also, Kizaru does kick Bonnie to the curb and kicks her into the Frontier Dome as well, right? And we know that the Frontier Dome basically damn near kills you on impact, right? So that's the thing, right? So, anyways, what happens, excuse me, is Kizaru shows up and the other strikers are like, oh shit, we're in trouble, right? They use some of their attacks, but some of their attacks just don't even work on Kizaru, right? Because they're trying to defend Vegapunk and stuff like that. So yeah, and it was an interesting thing too, because earlier in the fight, Luffy asked, or Kizuru asked Luffy, like, so why are you trying to protect old man Vegapunk, right? And Luffy is just like, well, because you guys are trying to kill him. Like, why are you guys trying to kill him? He ain't done nothing bad. He a good dude. And basically, you know, Kizaru's like, I don't want to kill him, but he broke the rules, essentially, right? He was doing shit that he should have not done. So that's the thing, right? Anyways, this leads into the next episode, right? Or we got left off on the cliffhanger in the last episode where Luffy shows back up. He's in Gear 5. He grabs Kizuru again. So fast forward to this most recent episode, episode 100, 1000 or 1127. You have it to where there's a moment in the episode they focus in on Kizuru's face, and he actually was sweating, like there was sweat, you know, a sweat droplet going down his face. He's like, oh, so this is the power that Kaido dealt with and he lost. Oh, yeah, okay. This actually might be a problem. He might actually work. I might actually have to like put in the effort to beat this guy now. So like for Gear 5 to be on this stage where it made an admiral that we've known for a fairly long time in this story, and we know how strong Kizuru is. Like, for the fact to see him actually, he wasn't sweating bullets. He had that one just sweat drop go down his basically his face. You can tell, like, okay, yeah, Gear 5 is on another freaking level, bruh. If it's making admirals freaking do it, and you know, it's made, you know, honestly, Gear 5 in this fight was making freaking Kizuru pull out shit that, like, frick, we were like, what the hell is going on here, bruh? So there's that, right? Luffy basically spins him so fast, he throws him all the way, like, I don't know where he went. I'm just gonna say halfway across the world. He threw him that far, right? So that's the thing, right? Now, on the Tron, they do see that Bonnie's also okay. Bonnie managed to not get badly hurt from the Frontier Dome, and she's pretending to be a kid. Now, we found out that Sentomaru actually helped her out in telling her to escape and get out because there was a lot of Navy soldiers. And basically, what we find out is basically Sentomaru jumped into the Frontier Dome, protected Bonnie from getting basically badly damaged from it, right? And he's like, get out of here. There's Navy soldiers here with the pacifistas. There's nothing I can do, right? And he knocks out, and he basically is down for the count for good. I don't know if Sentomaru is going to get back up, but she ends up encountering some Navy soldiers, but she ends up using her devil fruit powers to turn them either into old men or children and everything to escape that way. But she's using this because Sentomaru basically gave it to her, right? Albeit she is worried about Sentomaru, right? So that's the thing. And then also the Vegapunks come up with a plan because eventually they break the code. Freaking well, what's her freaking name? She's like, no, damn it, why'd you figure it out, you stupid idiots? So you just have it to where they realize, okay, we need to get back in control of the pacifistas because shit is not going good for us. Like, the pacifistas on their side, they're taking our forces out, and we got to do something. So Vegapunk's like, okay, I'm gonna go down to the front. I'm gonna go down to the main level, and I'm going to basically tell the pacifistas essentially to essentially be under control. And main Vegapunk's like, yeah, sure, let's do this. Now the other stars are like, are you sure you should do that? Like, dude, dog, your life is on the line. They will kill you. And Vegapunk's like, I don't care. I gotta do what I gotta do to protect Bonnie. And I gotta do what I gotta do to make sure like we get out of here safely. So they get into like this bubble car, right? And that's what they're doing. Eventually, you do have it where Kizuru does come back in this instant, right? So Kizuru does come back in this instance, and eventually, and this is when Luffy and Kizuru get into the main part of their fight. Now, we also do cut away a little bit and see Zoro versus Luffy, and they're just kind of stalling each other out. It is still a cool fight to see animated because it's like, damn, you know, that's the thing. And Luffy actually does give props to Zoro. He is like, you know what? You're not half bad. I see why now you're basically the second strongest in an Emperor's crew, right? And basically that's kind of thing. But they're clashing back and forth. It's funny because eventually Luffy's watching this fight. He's like, "Hey, Zoro, you need some help over there?" Zoro's just like, "No, buzz the hell off. I don't need any goddamn help." Which is funny because Luffy's just on the sideline. He's like, "I'm just having fun watching." He's like, "Well, okay, Zoro, good job." Eventually, Kizuru shows up, and this is when you get to the main part of the fight. And I can't even explain what the hell happened. Like, the one thing I can remember from this fight is the fact that Kizuru like did the freaking split into different body, different cells, or made multiple copies of himself, and Luffy had to take them all out individually. It ended up being like a fake trap because he ends up just like, he's like, oh crap, I fell for it because he was like holding freaking Usopp at this one point, right? Um, and basically, um, it's just crazy. Animation was absolutely wild. Just absolutely wild. Like, it was just going all over the place. Honestly, I could not even keep up. Like, I'm just like, what the hell? Which is funny because I think I saw like a Twitter post talking about like, One Piece, this scene was like highly over animated, and everything, or and stuff like that. So I'm like, that may be the case, but it still was fine. But regardless, anime fans find ways to pick things up. And I think I also heard like One Piece or animator or director or something, art director or something, said they're still using like rehashed things. That must be more of a Toei problem. I don't really care. I'm like, One Piece is sounding like One Piece since the show first started. So like if they want new sound effects, I guess if they want to do that, they can, but I see no different, like why change things up, in terms of sound effects and stuff like that when it never affected me. I don't know. Maybe it's because people just feel like they're using too much of the Dragon Ball sound effects and they're just like, oh, it's making it sound like it's fucking Dragon Ball or some shit. No, I think people are overreacting too much, but this was crazy, man. This was absolutely crazy. With where they were going here for this fight. And I'm just like, what the hell is freaking going on now? Kizuru does see it to where he sees Vegapunk escaping, right? And essentially you just have it to where he shoots a laser beam at the others, and you just have it where Luffy comes out of nowhere and he legitimately just eats that light beam, right? And everybody's like, wait, what the hell did this man do, right? And basically you just have it where he just throws it up and then boom, that's kind of the thing right then and there. So yeah, and the episode basically ends off with Vegapunk telling the pacifistas, hey, look, attack the Navy, and that's where we get the to be continued screen. And then next episode, I'm very looking excited to that one because it seems like one of the elders is gonna finally get involved with stuff, right? And it's not going to be good. It is not going to be good. And that's where it leads to the to be continued screen right then and there. So yeah, he opens his eyes like he had like, it's time I get involved myself. If Kizuru can't do it, if the Navy forces can't do it, I guess I gotta do the Thanos, grab the gauntlet. I'll take care of it myself shit, right? But these last two episodes of One Piece were great, and things like that. But that's all I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button. If you want to get more One Piece content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or your night watching this video. Till then, guys, peace.